across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Seedots.
Hey guys, just want to kind of start off by prefacing this video by saying that we're using the old layout from previous battles. The new layout takes just a really long time to edit, and I don't really have the time right now as I'm kind of running around getting my life back in order after all the craziness that has been this past week, honestly. So the old layout's just really easy to edit because I can just plug in a couple pictures at the very beginning and then just kind of let the video go. And honestly, I feel like you guys care more about the video content than like what's happening on the sidebar and stuff, although the sidebar really looks cool and all that. So I'm sorry about that. The new layout with all the stats and stuff on the side will be back for next week's battle after I get a chance to get kind of things back in order. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to take you to it right now. Welcome back to my corner of the internet, Macho Maniacs. My name is Lucas. This is Lil Macho hanging out in the corner of the screen, and we are back for week number 3 of the PBL here against Colton and the Omaha Omastars. If you already know that you're gonna like the video, if you already are a fan of the Seattle Seedots, if you bleed blue and light gray, I think it is, go ahead and leave a like down below. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, stick it out, watch the video, see if you like the content, and then maybe leave a like at the end, maybe subscribe if you like the content. It means the world to me. Anyway, this week is a really big week for us. We put our 2-0 undefeated record on the line against Colton and the Omaha Omastars. He's bringing a pretty different team than I thought he was going to bring. He's bringing the Dusclops and Cresselia, which by the looks of the team, look to definitely be his wall core. Dusclops is probably Eviolite physical defense. Cresselia is probably specially defensive invested with like leftovers. Then he's got Crobat and Azelf, Terrakion, and Darmanitan for his attacking core. Now Terrakion and Darmanitan and Crobat are nearly all the time physical attackers, and Azelf usually is physically based, I think, but also definitely gets like stuff like Dazzling Gleam, so it works as a mixed attacker. So when looking at his team, definitely possibly his only special attacker is Azelf, in which case I'm very happy that I brought Mandibuzz as my only wall, and it's physically defensive. If you didn't know, if you didn't watch the press conference video last week, Mandibuzz is our only designated wall. It's max HP, heavily invested in defense and a little bit of special defense, and this is kind of a altered hyper offensive team because I knew that I was going to have to hit hard really quickly. Thunderous is a choice scarf set, Diggersby is set up with Silk Scarf, Jirachi is a sub leftover set, Kyurem is a choice spec set with 4 attacking moves, and our Mega Gyarados is Jolly, max speed, max attack with 4 attacking moves. Anyway, definitely a great battle, We're going to hop right into it, just go ahead and get things started. It did end up being 31 turns, so longer than our battle last week, but not as long as our week 1 battle. We start off with Thunderous, just kind of sending out our Choice Scarf out there, and he sends out Armstrong. Now, if you watched my press conference video, this is exactly how I wanted things to start, because I know that Modest Scarf outspeeds Jolly Scarf by 2 points, so I'm able to get a Volt Switch off really quickly. I'm going to go right back into Gyarados to take the Flare Blitz, I think, is coming, or possible U-turn, and also intimidate this thing. I figured he might U-turn out into something, but it actually turns out that he Flare Blitzes, and even after an Intimidate and it's not very effective, Scrimp, not being invested in defense or HP, still doesn't take that very well, because Darmanitan is just an absolute monster. Now what I expect here to happen is I expect to Mega Evolve, take another one of those hits because I get a bit more bulk, and then pretty much lose Gyarados because of the incoming Flare Blitz because he's Choice Scarfed into it. But I actually outspeed, which just absolutely froze me for a loop that I'm able to get this kill with Mega Gyarados because I was totally expecting this thing to be Choice Scarfed. Like, I had this, like, I hadn't been able to see a Choice Scarf yet because I knew I had sped, and so I have no idea what that set was. But he brings in Terrakion. I don't want to bring in anything on a close combat from this thing, so I'm just honestly going to let Gyarados die here. That was the plan this week all along, is to trade a lot of mons, get the first kill, and then trade back and forth so that it's a 1-0 or 2-0 in our favor when we win. But, I mean, we have to let Gyarados down there. Anyway, I'm going to bring in Thunderous here because I do have some super effective moves for this thing, and I figure now for sure this thing is Choice Scarfed into close combat. So he does release it, tells me that he's almost definitely Choice Scarf, could be Choice Band, but more than likely not. I do have the Flash Cannon, which was a guaranteed 2-hit KO on that thing, which is why I have it. I switch back out now because I see I can't do anything with this thing with Flash Cannon. I'm Choice Scarfed into. I can't do anything with this thing with Flash Cannon, and I'm Choice Scarfed into it. So I switch out to Jirachi. He has the Reflect, so at this point I'm figuring he's probably like dual screens, leftovers kind of set. I go for the substitute here as he withdraws. He brings back out into Dusclops, and this thing definitely is going to be a problem with Eviolite and Reflect up. So I'm going to throw up the substitute. And now, at this point, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I don't like playing the flinch game, but he has an Eevee like Dusclops behind Reflect, so I'm going to have to flinch game, do some shenanigans to waste out these Reflect turns. So I'm going to Iron Head. As you can see, that does 0 damage, but he flinches. At this point, I'm not going for damage, honestly. I'm just trying to make sure he can't do anything to me as I try to, like, stall out Reflect turns. I'm going to go for Thunder Punch here, because Serene Grace makes this a possible 40% chance to paralyze. And I do get the paralysis on the first turn, so I do have the ability to go for some paraflinches here. He goes for the Shadow Ball, which I'm not too worried about because I know it's going to break my sub, but at the same time Dusclops has nearly no attack. So I do realize it's doing about 25%. It's probably not doing much over that, I'm thinking to myself. And I get leftovers recovery, so I'm almost back up to full. So it's really easy for me just to go back under another substitute. And now he is going to go for the Will-O-Wisp. That's kind of what I figured he was going to do, thinking I was going to like switch out into one of my physical attackers, maybe Diggersby to get the Shadow Ball, take the Shadow Ball and be immune, and he just Will-O-Wisp and completely neutralizes it. I thought he was probably going to do something like that, which is why I went behind the sub again. Anyway, now I have him in perfect Paraflinch territory in order to waste out these Reflect turns a little bit more. I still see that's doing nothing, so I know that there's probably not much point in staying in after this turn because I'm counting Reflect turns, and I know that after this turn, Reflect wears off. So I'm going to kind of take, not really a risk here, but I know he might try to do something thinking that I'm counting Reflect turns. I think I'm going to switch out into like Diggersby or something to take the Shadow Ball. So I switch out into Kyurem, Frozone, because I do carry the Shadow Ball on this thing. So I know that Shadow Ball on Eviolite, Dusclops, because I don't think it's specially defensive invested, is still going to hurt a lot. And he probably doesn't even know that I'm carrying the Shadow Ball. So he switches out. He's going to go out into the on-the-wall Cresselia, which is perfect for me. I figured he might do something like that. I think I'm going to, like, I don't even know, maybe go for, like, Draco Meteor, and then he can take it with this thing and then recover back up with Moonlight. But I don't. I'm going for the Shadow Balls. And Frozone nearly takes this thing out. Gets the special defense drop, which would have been much better on the first one than the second one, giving him a chance to throw up a light screen. So I was right that this thing is dual screens. Anyway, I'm just going to go for the Shadow Ball, take this thing out, don't worry, don't play too cheeky or anything here. Anyway, we take the thing out, and it's now a 6-4 lead. For the Seattle Seedots. Now Terrakion's going to come in here, and once again, I know this thing is outspeeding me. I'm Choice Specs to the Shadow Ball, so I'm going to switch out and go into our Miss Mandy, finally hitting the field, and I'm going to see how much close combat does. Honestly, going for Rock Slide in that situation probably would have been better for neutral coverage. I take that a lot better than I thought it would. Holy crap, Miss Mandy takes that so well. I was absolutely flabbergasted. I should have switched into this thing on the first close combat instead of letting Gyarados go down. It's unfortunate. But he switches back out. We are in the 5-4 lead, so I kind of can play around with a couple of things. I go for the knockoff. This thing has safety goggles, so I figured that he was probably setting that up for the, like, this thing is just like a perfect Amoonguss check. Crobat's one of the reasons I didn't bring Amoonguss this week. He goes for the taunt. I wasn't really expecting it, so it's so I do try to go for the Tailwind to get my team speed up, which is you know, kind of sucks that I can't do that, but now my only possible option is going for knockoff, and that's just not really what I want to do, so I'm going to go back into Jirachi. Now, what he's going to do is he is going to go for the Brave Bird. I do resist that, which means this is not going to, even though Jirachi is in a wall on this team, it's not going to do a whole lot, base 100 attack, HP, and defense without any investment, so I know that I'm going to take that well. So I do get a little bit of HP recovered back with the leftovers. Now, I figure he thinks I'm going to go for a sub and taunt. It's exactly what he does, so I just end up going for the Thunder Punch. Do a pretty good chunk of damage to this thing. Not quite going to kill, but it does snag another paralysis on the first turn. Serene Grace is just too much sometimes. I get a little bit of recovery back with my HP because of leftovers. I'm just going to go for Iron Head now that I outspeed this thing for sure to take it out. And Kamikaze unfortunately goes down for him. Now it's a 5-3 lead. I'm really liking where I'm sitting here because I like the way my team is performing right now. It's working the way that I wanted it to. Not taking too many hits because I don't really have anything to take any hits. Now I see a Zelf come out, and I know it's probably going to try and do something because it thinks I'm going to switch out. So it goes for Nasty Plot. I don't want it to be able to set up on me, so I just go for Iron Head. I want to get damage on this thing so that something can come in and take it out. But he goes for the Nasty Plot. So since he has a Nasty Plot set, and it's just going to go for the Shadow Ball here and take out Jirachi. Now that it's a 4-3 lead, now that I know he's Nasty Plot, Shadow Ball, I know that there's absolutely a 0.0% chance that he's going to be outspeeding a Thundurus that is Choice Scarfed. So I switch in my Thundurus on this thing because I'm just going to come in, fire off a Thunderbolt, and if he wants to switch out and save his Sweeper, that's fine, but I'm just going to go for the Thunderbolt to take something out. He does decide to stay in, probably a smart choice on his smart part. Now it's a 4-2 lead for us. Dusclops comes out. I'm kind of worried about this thing because it's still Eviolite. I was kind of thinking about switching out into Miss Mandy and getting a knockoff on this thing maybe, but I didn't want to play too cheeky with that. He gets paralyzed, really hacksy for him. I go for another Thunderbolt. It's not going to quite take out, and then he gets fully paralyzed again. 25% chance back-to-back turns. Really sucks for him. Figure he might have been going for like rest or something to get rid of that paralysis. I would have had to play around it a lot more and go into like Miss Mandy and knock it off so that he didn't have his Eviolite anymore. But I don't decide to do that. Well, the game decides to not make me do that by getting him 2 fully paras. I go out into Miss Mandy now to take this thing on. He goes for the Rock Slide. We're going to see a little bit more. The last like 5 turns of this battle are really hacksy for him. He goes for the Rock Slide. This time, instead of going for the close combat, smart choice, smart choice. He goes going to go for another Rock Slide, misses it. I go for the Tailwind to kind of get my team speed up a little bit, which ends up being kind of pointless because we're near the end of the battle here anyway. I don't really know why I'm going for Tailwind there. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But anyway, I'm going to switch out because I know that he's now locked into Rock Slide, so I can just switch out to Diggersby and don't have to worry about close combat or anything, and I know that Rock Slide is not going to do a lot of damage to me. He goes for the Rock Slide and ends up doing, like 30-ish, 40-ish points of damage. So not a big deal. He goes for another Rock Slide, misses it. So 2 out of his 4 Rock Slides on a 70. How accurate is Rock Slide? 80%, 85%, 90%, 90% accurate. I feel like. So he does miss those last 2, which is kind of stupid for him that he gets back-to-back fully paras and then misses 2 out of his last 4 Rock Slides. All in all, I don't think it changes the outcome at all. I think it would have been a 4-0 regardless if he'd hit those Rock Slides or missed those Rock Slides, because I feel like that Rock Slide that he missed on Miss Mandy, she would have lived at like just a few HP anyway after Leftovers recovery. So that's that. Anyway, good battle to Colton. I'm sorry that the end there had to be kind of hacksy. But yeah, anyway, if you've enjoyed this video now that you're near the end and you've found the content to be enjoyable, go ahead and leave a like down below. And also, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe for new videos. Update video coming out either tomorrow or Tuesday, leaning towards Tuesday as I get my life kind of back in order tomorrow after the kind of crazy, hectic week that's been this past week with people visiting and stuff like that. Anyway, stick around for that. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. My name is Lucas, aka Macho Emolga, and I'm going to see you guys later. Peace.
Oh yeah!